I like living. I have sometimes being wildly, despairingly, acutely miserable, racked with sorrow, but through it all I still know quite certainly that just to be alive is a grand thing. It is a curious thought, but it is only when you see people looking ridiculous that you realize just how much you love them. Very few of us are what we seem. The impossible could not have happened, therefore the impossible must be possible in spite of appearances. An archaeologist is the best husband a woman can have. The older she gets, the more interested he is in her. If you place your head in a lion's mouth, then you cannot complain one day if he happens to bite it off. Instinct is a marvelous thing. It can neither be explained nor ignored. Everybody said, "Follow your heart." I did, it got broken. The best time for planning a book is while you're doing the dishes. One doesn't recognize the really important moments in one's life until it's too late. Never do anything yourself that others can do for you. It is really a hard life. Men will not be nice to you if you are not good looking, and women will not be nice to you if you are. Never tell all you know, not even to the person you know best. One of the saddest things in life is the things one remembers. The young people think the old people are fools, but the old people know the young people are fools. In the midst of life, we are in death. The truth, however ugly in itself, is always curious and beautiful to seekers after it. But surely for everything you love you have to pay some price. Good advice is always certain to be ignored, but that's no reason not to give it. Everything must be taken into account. If the fact will not fit the theory, let the theory go. To every problem, there is a most simple solution. I do not argue with obstinate men. I act in spite of them. It's like all those quiet people, when they do lose their tempers they lose them with a vengeance. It is completely unimportant. That is why it is so interesting. As life goes on, it becomes tiring to keep up the character you invented for yourself, and so you relapse into individuality and become more like yourself every day. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. An appreciative listener is always stimulating. To rush into explanations is always a sign of weakness. One of the luckiest things that can happen to you in life is to have a happy childhood. Words are such uncertain things. They so often sound well but mean the opposite of what one thinks they do. When a woman wants sex, she always talks about her ex-lover. At my time of life, one knows that the worst is usually true. Dogs are wise. They crawl away into a quiet corner and lick their wounds and do not rejoin the world until they are whole once more. What good is money if it can't buy happiness? I always think loyalty's such a tiresome virtue. A woman who doesn't lie is a woman without imagination and without sympathy. The happy people are failures because they are on such good terms with themselves they don't give a damn. Love can be a very frightening thing. That is why most great love stories are tragedies. Elephants can remember, but we are human beings and mercifully human beings can forget.